I'm Javier.
And I'm Karen.
And of course, we are the Gov Geeks. So here we are. This is the last of our 9-part series. Can you believe it?
I cannot.
Yeah, it's like time just flies by so quickly. We have such a great time doing these, and we're happy to share. So, what is the topic of our final one? Because we had to make it a good one.
Be kind.
Be kind. Exactly. Like Harry Styles, right?
Treat them with kindness.
Treat people with kindness. That's super important. Well, I think also for career management, that's a really important thing. I mean, what happens if you are working with a person that is just rude and challenging, obnoxious? You're not really going to want to work with them. And so they may find some challenges along the way. But if you treat people with kindness and respect, it's a little easier to work with people, I think.
And genuine kindness.
Absolutely. I mean, we're not saying be kind so you can get stuff. We're just saying at least be kind. Yeah. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of stuff every day, a lot of demands. People are, yelling at us because we need to get certain things done, or missions met, objectives met, and everything. The least, if anything else, that we can do is just treat people with kindness.
Right. And I'd like to note that this month is Suicide Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put information down below just where you can contact to get help. But you never know what battles people are going through on their own. So yeah, just be kind. I don't think we can say it enough, and I'm glad this is our final one on this topic. It's so simple, but yet so important.
So super important. I had gotten some great advice from a mentor years ago, because I was talking with him about just general career trajectory stuff. And he says, well, I think that you're going to do just fine because people work with you well because you treat them nicely. And yeah, I guess at the time I was expecting to hear something about, get this type of certification, get this type of experience. But no, it was just about how you treat people. And I think that was true then. And it's honestly always been true.
Right.
So we have some strategies to help you treat people with kindness and understand how to utilize this as a soft skill in your federal career. Okay, so what's the first one?
So the first one is to have some empathy.
Yes. Be kind by having empathy. Realize what they're going through. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. Some of the demands that might be experiencing, some of the issues or concerns. If you see that, maybe it's a little easier to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What's the second one?
So the second one is to know your triggers.
Yes.
Your own triggers. What gets you riled up? What buttons can people push to get you into a mood?
And we all have them. Everyone has a trigger. There's just something there. Perhaps something happens that is against some of your core values that you have. I know, Karen, sometimes we talk about you have a very strong value of justice. And so you feel that things need to be treated correctly or appropriately. So if a person's waiting in line and another person cuts in front.
Or somebody's jaywalking.
Yes. And you're like, no. Well, I mean, there's laws for a reason. How many times have we seen cars and cyclists and everything almost hit a pedestrian because they were crossing or jaywalking when they weren't supposed to?
Right. Ooh. Or almost getting hit by a cyclist, even though you're crossing at a crosswalk when you should be.
And now Karen is triggered. You see how this works? So make sure you know what your issues are so that you can manage them. If something happens and you get triggered, perhaps the other person didn't mean to trigger you. They didn't know that that's something that you had a concern about. And then you snap at them. Well, if you know what your triggers are, you can help manage your responses and treat people with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
These are good things.
Yes. The next one is to prioritize your energy use.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There's tons of things that we can say about this one. For instance, if you know for sure that you are most productive either early in the morning or in the afternoon or something, well, schedule your most important topics during that time so you can get the most done. And also, later on, you're not going to be so crabby when you have to do something. You're just not firing at all cylinders, and people are asking you questions because that's the time that they're supposed to do that, and you're snapping at people. Well, if you know for sure that the best energy use is during that time, well, try to reschedule the meetings or your interactions or know how best to manage that sort of stuff.
Right. And I think more often than not, you'll have to just know how to manage it, because you may not have control over the calendar or when a meeting is scheduled or when somebody just comes into your office. So you want to make sure that you know how to manage yourself, your emotions, your feelings when you do get triggered.
Of course. And to the best extent that you can, really prioritize how you're able to use your energy and your times to manage things. Again, to whatever ability that you have access to. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
This one's a good one. Take a break before sending that email.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We've
How
all
often
had
does that
those.
happen? You see the email?
What?
Oh, and you just really reply. Yeah. If you can hear yourself typing on that keyboard, maybe that's an indicator that there's a little bit of an overcharge of energy as you write that email.
Mhm.
So quite simply, take a stroll outside, go get a cup of coffee, some water, stretch, work on another task for a little bit, give yourself another type of a scenery
Mhm.
before you react to something. Allow yourself
Recenter
to.
yourself, and maybe you can even ask somebody like, hey, how does this sound? Is this coming off a little bit too hot? Like, you can always get another person's opinion.
I've experienced where, I read something and I get triggered and I'm about to hit reply. And then later on I come back and I reread it and I think, okay, maybe I understand what they're saying.
Do you hit reply all to
Oh,
a
yeah.
mass email?
Also, don't hit reply all to mass emails. Yes. And then there's always that one person that hits reply all again and says, stop sending this to everyone. Well, anyway, what's the next one?
The next and final one is...
Wow, this is the final one for the whole series.
Yes.
Wow.
Live the life that is important to you.
So important. So when you're treating people with kindness, it comes about when you realize what you're doing and why you're doing it. If you say for sure, I got into public service to make a difference, and if you are living that life, if you really are making a difference, it's easier to really treat people with kindness because you care about what you're doing. You're impassioned about the work rather than here's another assignment that I got to do, and there's this other person that's in my way. If I just, rush through it or push them out of the way, I'll be okay. But if you actually feel good about what you're doing and you're living the life that you're meant to live, I think that's really what it's about.
Right. And we talk about the oath of office.
Right.
And so it's sometimes nice, I know for me, to kind of break that out again, or even go to, when they are swearing in new employees, to kind of see that. It's something very powerful to see individuals who are being sworn in, saying the oath of office, and just excited about this next part of their journey. And just to think back, well, you were there once too, and you were all excited.
Absolutely.
To join the public service.
And that's honestly why we have our studio designed this way. I mean, we have flags, we have other memorabilia that remind us about our commitment to public service and our commitment to you. So honestly, just as a closing note, we wanted to say thank you for watching the series. We really appreciate your engagement, your commitment to public service, and honestly, doing the best that you can to help others. That's very worthy, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.